Okay.
I was going to ask, would you like doing more voice acting or acting, but...
Oh, voice acting, yeah.
When you started talking about bar talk and all that, I got to ask, what's Freddy's drink of choice?
My drink of choice? Well, for many, many years, it was Old Bushmills with 2 ice cubes. You know, in London, I've got this secret pub, you guys, in Mayfair. Oh, it's so cool. They give you like a pitcher. It looks like your grandmother has it, you know, in her, in her cabinet. You know, it's got a crack in it, and they have Irish whiskey there you've never heard of. You can't even get here. And they just pour like a finger or 2 fingers in, and then you pour a little bit of water in it, and it makes it come alive. That's a great cocktail. It's really pure. It's really good. And I liked vodka Greyhounds for a while. You know, that was a good drink. But now I'm mostly just drink wine. You know, getting older, and you know, when you're a guy, the best thing you can drink over the age of 40 is red wine, because it just helps with your health and your digestion, and opens your arteries up. But if there's something in the grape, skin that's really good for men, just like kind of roto-rooters your veins. Usually make hair grows. Next question.
What is your favorite kill, and what is your least favorite kill?
I hate the wrestling around in part 2. You know, they bring Freddy out of the dream and he's wrestling around. I'm not even crazy about the wrestling around with Heather in part 1. But my favorite kill, I think, is the one that the boy quoted. I love it's so politically incorrect. I love the boy with the hearing aid in part 6. Yeah, because it's, you know, I've got fans that, you know, are hearing impaired. I've got fans in wheelchairs. And I've worked with actors that, you know, I worked with an actor, you know, who has a bad leg, and he's a great villain. And I think that, you know, as an equal opportunity killer, you know, and I know those fans, they want to be, I mean, why can't there be an Elm Street brat in a wheelchair, or an Elm Street a brat that's blind, and Freddy can mess with that. You know, that makes, it's an equal opportunity thing. I mean, it's like, we're all in it together. You know, we're all on Elm Street together, you know. I don't care if you limp. I'm gonna kick your legs out for one. It just makes it easier.
You've starred in some really good movies. I know over the years with Fear Clinic that you brought up, and
Fear Clinic's out right now.
And The Last Showing, and you're just fabulous in all of them. And I'm just curious, what draws you to movies like that when they're not, you know, they're probably not going to make it that big?
I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I've been in 80 movies, and you guys, I'm older than everybody in here, and you don't remember me from the 70s, but I was a very busy character actor in the 70s. I starred with Henry Fonda, Barbara Streisand, Burt Reynolds, Charles Bronson, Sally Field. All those people were Oscar winners. Susan Sarandon. I did TV movies with Jack Warden, Oscar winner, in all the Warren Beatty movies. I worked with Lillian Gish. She was in silent movies, you guys. I can do 6 Degrees with all of that. And I love that when I do it. And I love that I'm able to do it. And it still happens occasionally when you're working. But I had this great conversation with the great Lance Henriksen in Germany a couple of years ago over a bottle of really good Riesling. And it was a gray, overcast June day, and it was balmy. And we were sitting in back of this hotel, and it was like a forest park. And every once in a while, a beautiful German girl would ride by with a Heidi braids. Yeah, I'm on the ship. yeah, that's what and then there would be, like a deer would run by. And Lance and I, we were loving it, and I was getting Lance mellow, and he was telling me great stories about Sidney Lumet, Dog Day Afternoon, and Al Pacino. I got him opened up telling me stories. And Lance said that he does these movies, he does a lot of movies now that are low budget, horror, because the young directors let him get involved creatively. They listen to him. He gets to have his 2 cents worth. When you do an A movie, you're in and you're out, because they're so expensive now. I can do A movies, and I do A television still, top 10 television. But when I do a horror movie, first of all, I'm paid more. When you see me on Criminal Minds, or Hawaii Five-0, or Workaholics, or On Bones, or any of the hit shows, I'm just Robert Englund character actor. When you see me in just a regular movie, I'm just Robert Englund character. When you see me in a horror movie, any horror movie, I get paid a different salary because I can fill seats. I'm a genre star. And I'm a genre star worldwide. Horror movies, science fiction movies, fantasy movies speak the international language of cinema, the language of film. Everybody understands that. If you took me and Jay Leno right now and you dropped us off along with Jimmy Fallon and Dave Letterman at a fountain in Paris where there's everybody smoking a joint, nobody would ask them for their autographs. I would be asked for my autograph because no one knows about American. Name 5 French comedians. Name 5 Spanish comedians that you guys all love. You can name Spanish movie stars, Penelope Cruz, Javier Bardem, but not comedians. It doesn't translate. What does translate is talent, horror, science fiction, fantasy, the language of film, cinema. You don't need it's all common. It's a common denominator. It's a common experience when you go into the world of The Hobbit or the world of Avatar or the world of Elm Street. It's a classic thing. So that's that great, that's that thing when you hire me and I do a little low-budget horror movie in California or in Ohio or in Louisiana or in New Mexico, that movie makes a bunch of money in Europe too. See, that's the difference. Nobody's going to see an American romantic comedy in Europe. They don't care. They don't care about art. They have their own romantic stars. They don't care about ours. They don't care about a lot of our comedy. They don't know who Adam Sandler is, in a lot of those countries. Not that Adam Sandler's not funny, but that just doesn't translate. They have their own funny guy. But, we are the masters of horror and fantasy and science fiction.
I will say that there's a great movie you were in that's one of my favorites that you've done post Elm Street, and that's called Behind the Mask.
Oh, well, we love, like Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This was a film we made for you. Wes Craven's New Nightmare was made for you guys. And it's a fan-driven concept. Freddy vs. Jason was made for you guys because the day after we made the original Nightmare, some guy came up to me and goes, Mr. Englund, dude, so what would happen, man, if Freddy and Jason threw down, man? Who would win? Could you screw him up if he was asleep? So this is like this male original fanboy fantasy of who would win. This goes all the way back to the 1930s. We're not exploiting you guys. 2 guys sat on a stoop in New York, sharing a cigarette, in sleeveless t-shirts in 1930 and 35 saying, man, who do you think would win if Frankenstein met the Wolfman? And they made a movie of it. And then they read some comic books and they said, who do you think would win between Batman and Superman? And they made a comic book of it, and now they're making a movie of it that's coming out. So this is how that stuff all starts, and it's all good.
Hello. They took my 2 questions I was going to ask. So, what is your most memorable dream scene? Could you have the cockroach scene? You have...
I like the cockroach. The cockroach scene is very Kafka-esque, too. There's a great kind of intellectual underpinnings to that, with Franz Kafka and the insect play and metamorphosis. So I love that. And there's something about when her elbows crack. It really works. And then so you're still kind of creeped out from that when I go, you can check in, but you can't check out. Which was the big commercial, there's the beef, or I'm falling down and I can't get up. And it's part of popular culture, or part of the prime time. So that's a great dream. I like the loop in Wendy Harlan's Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, when Lisa Wilcox leaves the Craven with her boyfriend, and they run out and get in the pickup truck. They start to talk and they drive away, and then she closes up the shop and she runs out and she gets in the pickup truck and they drive away and they start to talk, and then she locks up the restaurant and because that's what my nightmares do. They loop on me. And there's literally a point where you go, whoa, I'm gonna stop this. I don't want to fall off that cliff again, but that's so like a real nightmare. And when they made the new Nightmare, I so wanted them to embrace the new technology and improve upon, because I know we ran out of money making the first one, improve upon some of the sequences. And that the great effects trick they used in Inception, and the great melty painting effects they used in that Robin Williams film, When Dreams May Come. Well, that's a 12, 15-year-old movie. I wanted them to take the new version of that Robin Williams effect and the Inception effect and use them at least once in the Nightmare remake. And I was disappointed that they just replicated our effects CGI, you know. But yeah, my favorite dream sequence in all the movies is the one Rennie came up with in part 4. And it's just simple, but it's just unnerving and creepy.
Hey, I tell you, this is an immense honor. I was a huge fan. I love your compilation of work throughout the years. I'm a big horror fanatic.
I can tell by your t-shirt.
Yeah, you were also on a little show on Sci-Fi called Face Off. And let me tell you, as a fan, let's see, I just got such a reaction. I just lost my mind. I went insane. You're so versatile. Whether it be singing, dancing,
No singing. I used to dance, no singing. Tone deaf.
You sang up here, though.
How do you get into the zone to channel all those caricatures?
Well, like I said earlier, extremes are easier because they're contrast. So it looks like you have more talent than you do. It's the middle work, which is why I urge all of you to see me in the last showing, because it's the best work I've done in 10 years. I'm channeling Richard Attenborough, the late, great Richard Attenborough from the film called Sails on a Wet Afternoon, which is one of the earliest great serial killer movies and a true story. It's right up there with, and you guys should all be writing this down for your quiz, it's right up there with the great Scott Wilson from Walking Dead's film In Cold Blood, which I hear they're going to remake again for the 3rd time. But anyway, no, it's different. You know, you're inspired by writers. I'm English trained. I went to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art for a while, even though I'm a California surfer boy. And they teach you there that you find it in the writing, somehow, somewhere. And in film work, you try to trust the writer, especially in movies. TV, it's a little more difficult. But you try to find it, but lots of times it can be what other characters are saying about you. Somebody can say he's lazy, or somebody can say he's volatile, and that gives you a clue. They're talking about your character. And that will illuminate you. Sometimes it's just finding something on the set that you want to work with. Sometimes you really think you have it, and you're working and you want to get it perfect, and you have this great monologue about cancer or something, and in the middle of it you knock over a salt and pepper shaker, and you go, God damn it! You pick it up and you go back into your line, and you're mad at yourself for bumping the prop, and you don't feel right, and then they use that take, and you're great. You're great in that take because you used the real thing, and it made you angry, and it infected the way you did the monologue. You never know. That's why, in movie work, in movie act, why I love it so much. I'm a die-hard stage actor, you guys, and I'm a really good stage director, and I'm really good on stage. Every time I do a movie, any movie, I'm running around, playing the warden 2 weeks ago, getting garroted, by a wire at the end, and imagining all of the maniacs behind their cell doors with little windows cut out because they weren't working that day. The wonderful guy from, the wonderful actor, Jerry Burns from, A&E, Justified. Jerry Burns from Justified. Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother, playing the creepy little serial killers. And I have to imagine them. And every time you work on film, you learn something. You're always learning. Plus, the technology's expanding. And so I love that challenge. I guess that's what I'm saying. I love that challenge.
I think we're at the last question.
The last question.
Hold on. I just wanted to thank you. You're an immense giant. And it means a lot to me to see Sci-Fi, turn on Sci-Fi channel, and watch your gory films.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm on tonight. If you guys aren't playing craps, where my crumbs come from. If you're not, if you, yeah, because it's a good, it's good cheesy, crazy popcorn fun tonight. You know, me and the alligators, and lots of hot, sexy young English actresses running around in their underwear. So, what more could you want out of life? Anyway, you've been a great audience. You've been great help. My own personal IMBD here, and have fun at this con, you guys. What is this? Another
I
question?
think Superman wants to.
Oh, I'm sorry, Superman. What?
Let me just say this is a great honor. I have one question and one request. My question is, do you regret not getting to fight Kane Hodder in Freddy vs. Jason? And then my request is, when you're done answering my question, can you say we're all your children now?
Kane is a friend, and I'm a little ticked off at Kane because he was supposed to be in Fear Clinic, and whatever pissing contest went on, I don't know, and I don't want to know. And I love Corey Taylor from Slipknot, and Corey was great too. We were shooting right before last Christmas, and Corey does so much charity for children and charity benefits that we had to shoot around Corey, and it made it difficult to get that film done. And I love Corey. And Corey's great in the movie, but you know, that part was originally written for Kane, and it was an opportunity for me to work with Kane again. I've worked with Kane a couple times. Kane was supposed to be in Freddy vs. Jason. What happened was, and I said this a few minutes ago, Ken Herzinger up in Vancouver, we had to shoot in Vancouver because we had to have a Crystal Lake. Ken walked in the office to interview as stunt coordinator. Ken's done like 100 movies. You see him all the time in movies. And Ken walked in and Ronnie's eyes just lit up. Now I go back with Ronnie. I gave Ronnie an award in Paris for Bride of Chucky. We go back and Ronnie just had this thing in his head for a giant Jason. Now, Kane's big, but Ken is giant. And that was that simple. So I miss, I'll work with Kane again. I know I'll work with Kane again. So I'm not worried about that. And finally, you are all my children now.
If you, I know a lot of people got turned away from the
I'm next to Elvira, so follow the cleavage.